Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Neptune transiting the 10th house in a natal chart. Now, on average, Neptune will traverse a house for approximately 14 years. However, if your house size is a little bit larger than average, then Neptune will be in there for a little bit of a longer duration. If your house size is a little bit smaller than average, then Neptune will be in there for a little bit of a shorter period. Well, anyway, people, first thing I look at with Neptune transiting the 10th house, well, Neptune can bring about some chaos and confusion wherever it transits, and it may bring this to your career or to your livelihood. I mean, what could happen too is that Neptune could also be about like dissolution. It's really about, like, it could be dissolving, dissipating. You might end a career that you have during this transit to pursue another one, which you might actually enjoy better. You might be very idealistic in career matters at this time. And it might be a period where, as far as your career and livelihood goes, it may be something where what you enjoy, what you fantasize about, may take precedence over tangible assets. You might find, in other words, you might find something where you make less money, but you actually enjoy it more, and it may be more of your ideal position. Well, the 10th house is also about reputation, and it could be during this time. In some cases, something scandalous could happen with some people, though I believe this to be very minuscule and isolated. It could be a time where, as far as your reputation, your public image goes, Neptune could be about illusion. And whether you're deliberately casting an illusion or not, people may misconstrue you for maybe being bigger than you are and of a greater stature, perhaps, or whether it's abilities, or how they just generally see you as far as your public image goes. Or they might think you're a worse character than you are. They might think you're better character than what you actually are. It's just something about Neptune having that illusion type quality to it, that deceptive quality. And also, it could be a time too, you look at the 10th house, and it's also connected with authority figures and older people. Now, it could be a time where these people might be a little bit more deceptive than usual, more ambiguous, a little bit harder to figure. They may be people that are not as dependable as they usually are. If you're expecting somebody that's an authority figure, or somebody that's an elderly person you're trying to meet up with, for example, to do something or to have some conversation regarding whatever, they may be less punctual than usual, and really they might not be you may not be able to rely upon them as much as you had previously. When I had Neptune transiting my 10th house, I wound up leaving my position where I was working at Kmart. I had quit. Where Neptune lands in a person's chart, can often, I think it unfortunately could bring kind of a lethargic quality to it, a little bit of a lackadaisical quality where we become very relaxed. That may have happened with me at that particular time. There was more to it than that, but I won't. It'll require a long dissertation. But anyway, another thing to look at too is when you have this transit, this could be a part where you look at the 10th house is connected with your stature in life. And the 10th house being your stature in life, how you stack up with others, and in terms of where you are in society. It could be a time where maybe there's self-deception involved. It could be a time where maybe you think you stand up higher in life than you actually do. Maybe you really might overinflate your own abilities, or it could be a time where you undervalue where you are in life and you're really at a higher maybe position and level than you are. Maybe you might, for example, downgrade yourself when the reality is you might really be at a position in life that's actually higher than you think it will be now, or where you're at. But also, it might be a time where you might pursue a career that is connected, say, with Neptune, like such as chemistry or something with the metaphysical, something in spirituality, even something with water, such as oceanography, something with boating, something where you might work by the water. It could be, what you might do is keep in mind that Neptune transiting the 10th house, it made the transition from transiting the 9th house into the 10th. So you may have learned something and perhaps connected with after high school, post-high school studies, higher education. You may have learned something when Neptune was in the 9th house, something Neptunian, and then when it went to the time when it went, or sometime when it went to the 10th, maybe the early period, maybe you embarked on a career that was tied into what you learned from in that when Neptune was traversing your 9th house. Well, anyway, it's also important to look at the aspects, if any, that are made from the transit to your natal planets and points, as this could impact the transit. Now, let's say, for example, that transiting Neptune is making a square in conjunct or opposition to your natal Neptune. Well, this could be a possibility of danger of being deceived by people who are con artists, drug users, swindlers, people, maybe even people that are phony psychics, for example. And being in the 10th, this might be tied in perhaps to someone you know connected with your career and may impact your reputation perhaps to some degree even. Let's take another example. Let's say that transiting Neptune is making a conjunction to your natal Pluto. Well, this might indicate that your fantasies may strongly merge and combine with a major metamorphosis or transformation, perhaps. Now, being in the 10th, perhaps this is tied in to your social status and where you stack up against other people, and maybe even something connected with your career or livelihood. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Neptune transiting the 10th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about Neptune transiting the 11th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.